You're watching a Zero Dark Network production. Welcome to another edition of Friday Live Zero Dark Network. Today is March 1st, the beginning of the month, and I want to go ahead and welcome you to my Friday Live. Sometimes it's an audience of one, but outputted for others to review, where I get to share things that we're working on, things that catch my attention, and hopefully brings value for your time. And so as I build this network of early risers, late owls, it's for a group of people that are taking their life more into doing more, right? Planning for more, thinking about more, and willing to get up early to get a head start on the day. So it's Friday. It's looking for the weekend. You ain't got a job. We're gonna get high. Just kidding. So I'm taking from Friday the movie series, but I didn't get to make it last Friday. Man, I was just zapped, and I haven't missed. I think many episodes as I've worked through my platform, the setting up the computer and thinking about my topics I want to share with you. So I do appreciate if you're following along, if you wouldn't mind subscribing so that we can build up our audience, build up our community. I'm going to have a lot to share with you today, and hopefully, again, you'll find this of interest, and maybe some of the things that I share with you, you can adopt, for yourself if you're in marketing or you've got a business or you just got, quality of life that you're pursuing, right? So I share books, resources, technologies, things that we're looking at for investment of time, effort, money, even. I know we're not giving investment advice here today, but I do want to talk about blockchain, for example, and XRP that's been making the news. We talk about politics. We talk about, little family on the freeway. Today, it's no longer, if you're married, it's no longer um, a cakewalk. It's more like a tightrope, right? And so, updates on my book, The Marketing of Good. Keep myself committed to get this thing complete so that I can share experiences with others regarding some of the issues that we've taken on in the last 10 years, 18 years, being on the front lines. For example, attended a prayer gathering at the University of Houston this week, and there's a Havas statue that's been put up, basically a satanic historic, reference to child sex slavery, child sacrifice, and there's been a lot of people that have been praying against it, and it looks like it's being disrupted. Maybe some of the alumni are deciding, hey, we don't want this on our campus. They tried this in New York. And in Texas, we are a faith-filled community, and I think it's affected the Islamic community, the Christian community, and the Jewish community alike, knowing the history of child sacrifice that goes back to ancient times and not being cool with having statues on campuses like that. So we cover a lot of issues, a lot of things that maybe you didn't think about or not thinking about. I've got friends that don't even watch the news. I don't watch the news myself, but I do catch what's going on the web. We had the presidents, Biden and Trump visit the border, which is something that we were raising attention to 3 years ago and probably beyond. We've all known about the border, but about 3 years ago, really brought attention to the invasion that's underway. Now it's a hot topic across the nation, and people are concerned. There's red flags going on in the country, not to be worried or fearful, or just being mindful, right? So got a lot to go over. Thank you for watching. And it's interesting, when I started to do this, I didn't think I would be able to talk for an hour, but I guess, I spent a lot of time in quiet, so it's always good to be able to have a time to share thoughts as, making notes and thinking about what might be relevant to people as they're navigating this thing called life, right? To reference Prince, the great poet, who was very influential in music. So we open up in prayer and thank you for being here. Hopefully, I got a good hair day today. My name is Andy Valdez. Again, you're watching Zero Dark Network Friday Live, and who knows who we're going to have on. So as we start spreading this, again, please share. Holy Father, Lord, we just thank you for this time where we're able to at least share what you're placing on my heart to reveal or to point out or to discuss things that can bring value to our lives. And some of it may be some training, some of it may just be some overview. But the goal is, Lord, we're looking to build a quality life for the future. That death of the snooze can take away our opportunity. So we pray that we get up early to rise, Mark 135, to have this quiet in the morning, early morning, and to not be in a rush. We've have several hours before daylight, so there's plenty of time to write down our thoughts and to plan our day and our future. And so hopefully these things that I share, it says that in the Bible that wisdom is like a bubbling brook. And we pray as we share this information that there's some clues. And we invite comments for those that can share what they're doing so that we can learn from each other and build community. Thank you so much for this time. Amen. All right, so I look forward to this Friday. Like I said, last Friday, man, I was just zapped. I went to bed late, and I think I went to bed like at 11 or 12. So there's no way I was going to get up, especially having a rough week that week. I think this is episode 12. I don't know what I'm going to call it yet. Uh, Usually, as I plan this, it kind of has its own theme, although blockchain seems to be kind of what I want to talk about. Here because a good friend of mine, Laurel Barrett, who I've mentioned in past episodes, had asked me, or at least advised me, or directed me to get an Exodus wallet, and that was about 6 months ago. And a lot of times, I'll drop notes, but it's on the agenda to do, but it may not be a priority. And so it just became a priority this week. And thankfully, it seems like it was the right time. So went through the process, and I'll take you to the website to show you what it looks like. But it's exodus.com. It's now basically a wallet where people can, once they set up their account, they can exchange in the different cryptos, NFTs, um, tokens, meme um, um, coins and stuff like that. So I'm still learning all this, but it's very interesting. So she also asked me to take a look at XRP, and that's been a lot in the social web, YouTube and so forth. So I've got a channel that I'm following that it's giving me updates. And so in discussion with my wife, it's like, this is something we need to take a look at. But let me go ahead and share my screen so we can kind of get going from there. I set myself a timer for 55 minutes, so it may go off here when we get closer to the end. We're going to do a share screen, share sound, and yeah, let's go over. So what I wanted to do is kind of give you an update on Zero Dark Network. My friend Austin Williams and I have been meeting on Tuesday regularly and Saturdays and just brainstorming. And we're getting to the point now where we're starting to do work sessions as we build up our model for communications and social media. Now that I'm starting to utilize Go High Level, which I mentioned in the last episode, I believe, and Canva, which is helping me to drive down the cost of marketing, streamlining the process, looking at cloning my voice, like I mentioned as well. And so it's really allowing me to schedule posts going out, months, I guess, even the whole year. It just depends on the client and the need. There's some things that I'm working on for myself, for my company. There are assets that we're creating, like I mentioned, writing my book and looking at doing some tutorials and following some others like Rick Pino, who's teaching others how to do some of this, and other trainings that I've invested in, which I made a commitment to, like Billie Jean Marketing, Chandra Sumter, Grant Cardone, Ty Lopez, Tony Robbins, and others, and a series of books that we're sharing online as well. And so you take a piece of your day and you just map it out, 30 minutes, 15 minutes, an hour. I always carry a book with me. Sometimes I'll read it during downtime, but for the most part, having it there just inspires me to go ahead and read a page or two, get a piece of knowledge that could change our lives, right? So as I was talking to my wife yesterday, I said, you can read a $20 book, and ordinarily a program might cost you 5, 10, $15,000 to work with the the expert. Well, by reading the book and actually doing what it said in the book, you probably save yourself a little bit of time. Of course, it's not like the same when you're having the interaction, the live interaction that you can at events and all that. I think it soaks in more when you're with the people, right? But you can participate in Zoom calls. I think there's a resource I'm going to make mention here now that I'm thinking of it, that's free. There's a lot of free resources, but NIA Zoom does a monthly Zoom with the Nation. It's free, and I'll post this in some of the comments here. These are things that you can take advantage of. So going back to Zero Dark Network, one of the things we've been working on is fleshing out our pages. So I've got my Friday live here, right? So I archive all the episodes. So I think we're at episode 11 actually today. I said 12. And so I'll output this episode, but they're all archived from the past few months that you can take a watch. And there's also a new platform that I'm going to recommend, or at least I'm looking at doing myself. It's called Get Munch Zoom. Get Munch. It's a AI platform that allows you to take long form content or any content. It slices it and dices it, and it puts titles on it. It also looks at trends and outputs these videos into short form videos that can put on TikTok. You can be put on TikTok or YouTube or Vimeo or other distribution, Rumble even channels to help drive audience and attention for the subject matter, right? So all these AI tools that are coming online are going to help. A lot of people are freaked out by it, but when you explore, just like anything, you can see how you can apply it to your life. It's still artificial intelligence, but you are the original intelligence, right? So it's really about what you know, things that you're an expert on, uh, odd things, interesting things, esoteric things, as some might say, but there's always a body of people that are interested in the same thing. So these tools just can help you to magnify your message, reach those people. And this is a platform is about discussing many of these things, right? So what I did want to talk about is our Tuesday Mastermind. And I'm going to share our video because it's now on our website. And right now it's in development. When Austin looked at it, he says, well, it's a little bit too sci-fi. So we're going to change up the visuals on it, but I wanted to share it with you real quick. So the mastermind group is primarily to attract, again, like-minded people that are looking towards the future, looking towards trends, and not necessarily being quirky, but being smart about applying their expertise to a group where we can benefit. So you've heard the saying again that bright minds think alike. Well, they really don't. They think differently. And so ultimately, for the mastermind groups that we're looking to populate, not just here in Houston and Sci-Fair, but even nationally, for someone that says, hey, you know what, I want to start a group in my city or my town. We want to have the ready-made turnkey solution, the model, the manual that they can follow to replicate and keep consistency with the brand, right? So the mothership will be this website, zerodarknetwork.com, where you can get updates, get downloads, and contents and topics, or at least mind share. So as people reveal stuff to us, that we can share online that we think will be beneficial to other members, then by all means we'll share it, right? So the mastermind groups have to be limited to 12 because any more than that, it kind of gets unmanageable. Although we do have the Saturday Change Me again, which is more for 25 people or more actually. So no limit on that, especially since we're going to Zoom on it as well. So let's share this little promo video. It's kind of futuristic, a thing, with an eye towards the future, using AI as the backdrop, and then of course, not limiting our reach, right? Because the world is flat. If you read the book years ago that was come out, we were talking about this with Asa the other day. That the world is flat, meaning that you can reach anybody in the world, right? Especially for such a time as this, where people are looking at global transactions and how they can connect with different cultures, et cetera. So let's go ahead and play this video, because sometimes I will talk too much, but that's okay. right. So when I put some of these videos together, have a little bit of creative license, I like to borrow from different industries, from cinema to again some of the topics of the futurism and what's in the news. A lot of people were concerned about UFOs here recently, and just kind of, I guess, casting a little bit of a vision of what's possible when you start to think about the future and ideas. There's so much that's being talked about with the AI world, and some people again are freaked out by it. In fact, had an awesome lunch with one of my mentors, Wally Wood. We're starting a little podcast called Coffee with Wally. I'll go a little bit into that. But for the last 5 decades, 6 decades, he's been documenting the rise of technology, and was curious about how it was going to be used for evil one day, right? So thing is, as I look at it, AI has been around for decades. Actually, Nikolai Tesla talked about it. I think I mentioned in other episodes, but he did talk about this day 70 years ago. And ultimately, nothing new under the sun. So as the people put these things together, a lot of it's beneficial. Like when the first website came, most people didn't know about it, and it was something that they were, didn't were either scared of or they embraced. Same thing with Google Maps and MapQuest and all the different map tools now. Who knew that we could live without navigation? That's AI, automated voicemail. So it's kind of the same lines. And so as I look at it as a marketer, basically, we've got good stuff that we're trying to share, and stuff that can help people. And some of the resources I'll share with you today, these are just tools that can help to magnify your message. And our audiences today in America and around the world are pretty sophisticated. They're used to seeing videos and memes, spend a lot of time on social media. And so you want to be relevant, to your audiences, which is nothing new under the sun. We're all people, right? But we're affected in different ways. Music, visuals, temperament, mood. All those things have a factor. So that video is just my version of how do I communicate the value or the interesting dynamic of the mastermind. So with Asa's input, again, he wanted to get away a little bit from the sci-fi part. He says, well, that didn't really add value to it or whatever. But, at the same token, I said, well, there's a lot of talk about the space, going to Mars and the rockets. So I said it wasn't too far-fetched, right? But anyway, that was our first rendition of the mastermind video. Then I want to take you to the Change Me video, which is a different spirit behind it, a different vibe, as the musicians say. And so the Saturday Change Me, it's more about, it's Saturday, it's time to, now the end of the week is done. I can kind of not really feel like I'm working, but now I'm looking to have a great day of activity, getting ready for Sunday. If you rest on Sunday, or you go to church on Sunday, or you're going to spend time with your family or go to lunch or whatever. So it's just a cap of the week. Saturday, we're, it's just a time of celebration. So that's kind of the spirit of this particular video. And I don't know if I can fit it on screen here. Yeah, it'll play on screen. Saturday changed me. All right, so that's the website. Let's see here. How do I get out of here? There we go. All right, so we wanted to take you to the website to show you there. So again, go to Zero Dark Network. You can find out more about what we're doing with these different groups and the resources that are there for your perusal. All right, let's see here. Oh, some good news on the personal note. My wife and I, just to give you an update, have been on a low sugar, no sugar diet and watching our calories, planned out our goals for the year to get to a certain weight goal. And today is our second official weigh-in. And today I weighed in, and I'm down 13 pounds. So I'm really excited about that. Just, sensible diet and just, my computer's going a little crazy here. Let me go back to stop share. Oh, there it is. Okay. So, did my official weigh-in this morning. So got a goal that I want to get to, and we talked about that in past episodes. Setting goals, identifying the 7 key criteria to help make the goal more meaningful. Austin and I went through the same exercise today on our finances, and thankfully, we have trackable measurements for what our goals are going to be for this year. As I made mention, my goal is to get to $1 million business. 100 million is, my real big goal. But I said between my wife and I, we've made our first couple of million, but spent it all. Had kids and cars and house and expenses, right? And just wasn't thinking about the things I'm thinking about today. And so as I started to map out my goal for this year, just thinking a little bit more strategic and bringing value and going more big, what I call big ticket. I mean, if someone wants to do something big, then they've got a plan for it. And then so now I know that, the clients that I'm looking for are clients that want to do something, they want to take their idea to the next level, and it's going to take commitment. And there's a way for us to start that necessarily takes a lot of time and resources to do, but we got to begin, right? We got to start making progress and start, measuring and communicating and implementing and adding and stacking the value. And so one of the videos I watched this last week with Rick Pino that I mentioned in the intro, he was a former worship leader and did some awesome, incredible music. You can look him up on YouTube. But now he's turned to Christian entrepreneurship, or anybody really. If you listen to some of the topics he's talking about on YouTube, how he's teaching people that really, if you create a skill, whatever that skill might be, and keep adding to it, it's going to multiply, right? And then when you have your creativity coupled to it, that's another differentiator. So what's happening is you're starting to bring value not to your life and to others, then you're starting to command more resources because it's a medium of exchange, right? So people have accumulated wealth or money, but they don't necessarily know what you know, and they need your help, right? So they can save time and money by hiring you to solve problems for them. And that could be something as like mowing the lawn, right? Mention of that, like writing that check to my lawn man, right? He solves my problem for $45. I save 6 hours, and I don't have to worry about sweat, tiredness, gas, the fumes, the bugs, the snakes, the raking, bagging up all the trash or whatever. All that can be exchanged. And so, that's how our economy works. That's how capitalism works. And in a time where our government leaders and the world system seems to be coming against that freedom of creativity. Your value is whatever you decide your value is. And so one of the little barometers that I've been using for a while is really your time may be worth not by the hour, $50, $10 an hour, 170, but your real value of your time could be worth 10,000 an hour or 20,000 an hour. So when you look at it that way, you say, okay, if I use this hour, what loss am I making, or what contribution am I making, and should I even be doing this, right? So not that you're thinking like a robot or anything like that about everything having a cost and benefit to it, but it's just a way to, as a rubric or a metric, to say, you know what, I did this exercise with Ossis, and we're looking at potentially buying a company. I said, between us, we're going to put 5 hours, 10 hours a week on this venture, and ultimately we want to build it to a $5 million company. I said, so when we add up the hours, I multiplied it by 10,000, his hours and my hours, it came out to $5 million, right? Just a good number. And then I was talking to another friend, because a lot of times, we make big purchases without thinking about the true long-term cost of it. And I think I mentioned that Tai Lopez a while in other episodes had said, put a number of 30 on it. So when you're buying a coffee at Starbucks, for example, let's say it costs $5 if you got all the frills, right? Multiply it by 30, and that tells you the true opportunity cost. It's because and my friend said, what do you mean by that? I said, well, if you take that $5, you could have invested it in something else, like let's say a crypto or a stock or whatever, or a design or something that's yours, a logo, something that's, I'm just saying as an example, right? That $5 over the next 5 years, 10 years would have cost you $150. Now multiply that times, let's say, a $30,000 car. Multiply that times 30, the real cost of that car I think is like 90,000, 30, yeah, yeah, 30 times 30,000, whatever that is, 900,000, right? So that's how you look at, these expenditures, right? So anyway, just to give you some perspective on things like that, um, for your time invested in improving your skills, right? So went over the website. Oh, so there's a thing that I make mention of, but it's in the background, a concept that I started called A Million Veteran Millionaires. And we had my friend Manfred Sternberg on, who's a business lawyer here in Houston. And he was our guest to talk about setting up your LLC. So I'll be outputting that video here. I want to save that screen because he gave us a lot of great information because I'm in the process of setting up our LLCs because ultimately on my vision board, there's many companies we're going to own. But the main thing is you got to get one going, right? But there's things that you can be preparing for, systems and ideas of how you structure these companies as you go forward. And so on A Million Better Millionaires, it's a platform that I started about 2 years ago. We're building audiences. And now that I've got all these videos complete, and my vision for this was to be able to take those long form videos and to slice them and dice them and output them for relevant content for those that are looking at scaling their business to 1 million. So I was making a joke with my friend, my co-host Kathy Bowersox. I was saying, look, I said, if you're in the $1 million club already, you're part of this group, whether you realize it or not. And you don't have to be a veteran to participate. So every fourth Tuesday of the month, we go live with a guest. And so our next guest is going to be Chad Neller, and he is a serial veteran entrepreneur. In fact, I'm working with him on Kiari. It's one of the ventures that he supports and is involved in. And I didn't get to go over Kiari last episode, so hopefully I'll get a chance to go over it. This episode, I've added a chat feature now, working with High Level that allows me to like keep in communication with people that visit my sites. And so again, we had Manfred Sternberg on this month, and so I'll put this video this week. So this month, I'm sorry, last month, and then we're now in March. So March 26th, we're going to have Chad Neller. Then we've got veteran Joseph Frankie, who's a LinkedIn expert and author, Colonel. I think he went to one of the academies. And then we've got $1 million agent Murad Fiki coming up in May, and Paul Kurt, CPA, in June. So a variety of different topics. We have our interviews archived by the year. So if you go to the top of the website, you've got Zoom 2023 and you've got Zoom 2022. So we've had our past guest, and we'll just jump on one of these sites real quick here to kind of show you some of the guests we've had in 2023. Now that we're in 2024, also we have a free building $1 million business course that you can take if you go to NIA website and type in the password and the user ID. Um, you can go and get these courses and learn from them and implement them for your own business, right? So you get a free resource there. But NIE University is supporting that. And Network in Action is a national franchise. If you're interested in being a part of this group, then reach out to me and I'll put you in touch with Kathy Bowersox, who is the lady that we're working with. She's my co-host. We've got our store on the site as well. And I hate to have downtime, but we have a little bit of downtime here, just waiting for the internet to catch up with us. All right, here we go. So I had Kathy on the first of the year. Then we had Ruben Gonzalez. He's out in I guess preparing for the Olympics in the luge. This will be his fifth time to compete, and with his advancement of training and coaching and the advancement of the technology of the luge, I'm really believing he's going to gold this time. So believing for that, he'll be 60 years old when he does. So that'll give. It's never too late. In fact, it is never too late. I just finished reading a book by Stan Goss called Tears of Sorrow, Tears of Joy. And it chronicled his life, now that he's 86. I think he'll be 86 here pretty soon. But he said, you're never too old. And so he cited some examples of people that have started companies in their 60s, 70s, and 80s. And his ministry, Crowns of Glory, is just to bringing to value the aged, the seniors, our veteran people in our network that have so much to offer. So at 60 years old, they're saying now that 70 is the new 50. People are doing remarkable things. We had Mark Osgeist from 13 Hours talk about exit strategy, and Bill Nash with our Nashville connection to talk about the music industry. And then we even had myself. I had myself on a guest on my own platform just to talk about the Million Better Millionaires concept. But I did want to go over to the affiliate section because I am listing these ways that, things that I'm looking at and affiliates that I'm participating in that you could be a part of, right? So part of the reason I joined some of these affiliates, some of it is more interactive, some of it's more passive. But like with the Chiari example, that I'm going to go over today. I wanted to get into Chiari because of the network, at least a group of people that are doing well and expanding my circle of influence, right? So there's always been said that you can calculate your future income by the people you surround yourself with. And so as I started to surround myself with like Howard Partridge, I'm part of his community, and he's got a community of business owners that are doing really well. I attended the Josh Tolley training with acquisition of wealth here a couple of weeks ago, to talk about buying businesses and learning what that is all about. It was a full day of just a wealth of knowledge, but again, being around other like-minded people, right? So just surrounding yourself with people that have a dream and goal. But on these affiliates, you'll see that I have there's a texting program that you opt in your network, the people that you want to stay in communication with and that want to stay in communication with you, just provides a way to communicate and automate your texting, and you can grow and scale it to the numbers you want to reach. So the idea is, as you build a following, you want to grow 7, 10,000, maybe it's a first goal, 30, 100,000. Then you become what's called an A-lister at that point because people are following you because you're adding value to their life, right? You're not spamming them. You're not, buying lists. It's all done ethically, appropriately. People self opt in because they see a value to what you're doing. And so in the same spirit, that's what I'm asking you as my audience member, to opt in and stay in touch. And maybe we'll get to meet each other one day and collaborate and work on things together, or I can help you to advance your vision, your goal, right? So in the affiliate section, we've got here Now Site. It's a website that this site is on. It's got all kinds of stuff that I haven't even learned yet, but I'm using, right? And then Ty Lopez has got an affiliate program where you can get involved in his training and some others. So I'll be adding some more affiliates to not just Million Better Millionaires, but also to the Zero Dark Network. And then Money Max helps you to get out of debt. And then Go High Level, which is the program I'm using now for all my marketing to integrate it from emails to sales funnels to uh, uh, communications, text and email, and also scheduling my social media posts, etc. So I'll go ahead and close this one out. So I hope you're tracking with me on some of this stuff. Oh, I did want to talk about BBF. So Veterans Business Force is a group that I'm a part of here. My friend Kathy and I started this a couple of years ago as well. So we wanted to help veteran businesses to get successful, but also bring in those that want to help veteran businesses and help vets, or maybe they had a vet in their family. I do a lot of work with the American Legion Marine Corps League. In fact, I'm in the process of joining HMAC, the Houston Military Affairs Committee. Had a great conversation with Becky Manbeck, who's one of the leaders there, and they've got a ball coming up in May. So we'll be helping to promote that. And then we just had an Iwo Jima event, for the Marine Corps League at Houston National Cemetery this last Saturday. And so I was able to get a landing page up for that and share it with the media. We did get the media to come out and tell a story about it. So my contribution is I didn't necessarily have to be there, but I was able to at least promote and dump value into what would have gone into obscurity had we not actually done the event the way we handled it. In fact, I'll jump on the landing page. This is a page that I started a couple of years ago, so I just repurposed it for. They do this every year, and so I made it more relevant for that weekend. In past events, they've had it on the Battleship Texas, but it's being refurbished out in Galveston. So, but I still like the Spectre of that World War II battleship, so I've kept that as part of the banner. So they did an Iwo Jima a battle honor and remembrance ceremony on February 24th at 10:30 to 11:30 at Houston National Cemetery. So we put the details there, did a little ad to promote it. It's always cool to be able to use these iconic images and be connected to it, right? Our detachment, the Macklemore Detachment number 4, was just renamed here recently. We discovered that our original charter took us back to 1923, which just makes us the oldest or two of the oldest in the nation. And so we were able to put a map to let people know where the ceremony was going to be at Houston National Cemetery. And then I think I also did an audio message that ran on KSEV radio, which I think I may have taken down from here now. And then we had a video from the last one that we did in 2022 aboard the USS Battleship Texas. So you can actually see one from start to finish, and then archive videos of some of these guys that survived Iwo Jima, kind of reminiscing about being there. And these guys, they're in their 90s now, hundreds. So they're slowly disappearing. And so we want to be able to honor them before that happens. And it's just remember the iconic imagery of the Marines at Mount Suribachi in Japan hoisting our flag, raising our flag on the mountain, and then a Marine commercial. So stuff like that that brings value to the site. And then once you have the link done, you can share it to all the different affinity groups and get traction with your idea. So that's what NowSite has done for me. Um, but then I wanted to talk about Veterans Business Force. And so my friend Kathy Bowersox started this thing. And so we meet every second Tuesday of the month. And we're looking to connect with veteran businesses that are doing close to $1 million a year. And we're looking to grow a group of about 25 local where we can get together once a month. And of course, NIA has a really cool website technology they use to help drive communications and value to everyone. And so the events are for first time guests are free. We're going to be meeting at the VFW 8790 here in Houston. The address is 1560 VFW Way in Houston, Texas, and we meet from 3 to 4:30 every second Thursday of the month. So our next meeting is going to be March 14th. And so in Canva, I was able to create this ad with collaborating with Kathy, which has been approved now. And ultimately, I'll be integrating this ad into Go High Level to start sharing to different veterans groups and then doing a boost to get it visible on social media. And so we're making a better effort to get our communications out and attract like-minded. So the good thing about brand consistency is people are seeing what you're doing, right? And maybe they're slow to adopt. And unfortunately, in the time that we're living, it takes about 25 times before someone actually gets involved in something. They're checking it out, they're reviewing it. Maybe it's in the back of their mind. It also depends on urgency. Like, you know what, this is something I got to take action on now. And so now we're moving into the taking of urgency because we do have a lot of invested already with the Million Veteran Millionaires, the Veterans Business Force, the radio communications we've done, the events that we've supported with the American Legion Marine Corps League, helping to start the Houston Veterans Chamber. So there's just a lot of infrastructure and foundation that we've been building with Kathy and I. Of course, this is not our only thing. This is one of our things, but she and I are going to be collaborating on some funnel things that she's been investing in. And so she wants to take me on as a project, not a project, but help me because she's seen what I'm doing and she wants to bring value to all the stuff that I'm doing. So it takes a team, right? So you have a dream. It takes teamwork to make the dream work, but it takes a dream to make the team work, as Howard Partridge has said. And so, as we're building our teams and like-minded folks, then it behooves us to think like entrepreneurs, right? How can I help you advance, right? And so, some of the clients I've been getting now, and especially after taking Howard's Partridge training, is I've got my message tight, but then I also have my guarantee. It's like, look, I believe in what I'm doing. I know what I'm doing. In fact, I'm willing to put 30 days to test, right? I'll do the work. If you don't like it, you don't pay, but you don't use my work if you don't pay, right? So there's a little caveat, but if you like it, let's go. In fact, I had just signed with a client yesterday and she paid my 3 months in advance. And that was really cool. It's a big ticket sale. And ultimately, we're going to be doing some cool things. And it's not about the hours. It's about, not worrying about the hours and being able to invest time and effort to advance her venture, right? To move forward the needle. And by doing that, then I'm proving my worth, right? You're proving your worth as you open doors, make connections, and bring value to people. I think Zig Ziglar again said you can get what you want if you help enough a few other people get what they want. So it doesn't really have to be a lot, although with social media and marketing, we have the opportunity to reach the masses, right? To bring value to people. And then teaching others, right? A good buddy of mine He's in a big deal. It's a medical breakthrough type pharmaceutical product that helps with dementia. And so they're working on doing a video, which really hasn't worked that well. And I basically just did an offer. I said, look, man, for $10,000, I'll make all of our lives better because these are a lot of smart people with resources, but they're trying to do it themselves. And they're not going to get the video quality they need and the message they want until there's really been some serious strategic thinking and marketing and production value brought to it. But a nice 30-second, 60-second video done well can catapult their idea to the next level. But while we were talking, me just touching base and just having a conversation, right? Not trying to really sell anything. I already threw the number out. So I'm just like, how can I help you to at least solve a problem that won't necessarily cost me any time or effort, but just a recommendation? So, well, Andy, our web person doesn't know how to get a PowerPoint onto WordPress. I said, well, you can bypass that, but you can embed your PowerPoint using slideshare.net. And so he didn't know about slideshare.net because I didn't know about that. So yeah, just get an account, upload your PowerPoint. I said, you can send the link to the person if you're having a doctor or an investor look at the PowerPoint, they can watch it at their leisure. So that's better than necessarily a video. And let's say the PowerPoint's 30 pages. Well, then the person can sit there and go through the pages by himself or herself, right? And then you can take the embed code and give it to your designer and have her put it on the website. It goes, man, this was a great call. Problem solved, right? Things like that. And my friend, he's not privy to everything. Just like, we can't have the bandwidth for everything ourselves. But, he was able to, we were able to at least solve a problem. Now I have goodwill. So one of my clients I've been working with here is Caroline Kane. She's running for Congress. Let's see here. Let me go to reload this because it's keeping me from getting to my next project. Excuse me, I had a cold. That was another thing too. Last week I had a cold that I was dealing with, so that's part of the reason I didn't come and do my live. So if you don't see me here on live on Friday, there's something that happened, right? And sometimes you got to rest, but for the most part, I haven't been tired. So it's just a matter of me getting the cold and then not having energy, and then kind of going from there. So Caroline, and I have been running her campaign, so I've been doing a lot of her ads. I'm going to go to her YouTube video in a second here, but thankfully was able to get her signed as a client. And right now, when you're doing a campaign, you've got to raise money and get votes, and for the most part, donations are slow. And so I see an upside to this. I said, thinking like an investor, that's another idea from Tai Lopez is like, look at your time as an investor, right? I mentioned that your time may be worth 10,000 or 20,000 an hour, depending on what you're building, right? It could be millions an hour, really, right? If you're thinking about, like I said, I'm looking to scale companies and build, an asset worth 100 million or more, right? So in reality, the time could be worth 100,000 an hour, even though right now may not be making that 100,000 an hour, but everything you're investing in is going to add up, to a value at some point. So a lot of this stuff that you see would take tens of thousands of dollars to create. Somebody's got to be hired to do this. If you're not a marketing person, and thankfully some of this can be layman, meaning you can do it yourself, but there's still principles of marketing that you need to be aware of, right? And the artistic nature of it, the music, the psychology, all that kind of stuff. So I get a text from Caroline. She goes, you know what? I need a new banner page. And so thankfully, she's not, micromanaging. She allows me to be creative as a marketer, knowing and working with other politicians in the past. And so I came up with this a Facebook banner that's now on our website. In fact, I'll take you to our website now because she did want to communicate more of her campaign. Right before that, I think she had her family on here, which is great. You always want to communicate that you're a family person, but going to the page, we react on feedback, right? So our idea, like even me sharing the video that Austin and I are reviewing for the mastermind group, his take on it was to refine it, make it better. And thankfully, we've had good collaboration that I value his input, he values my input, and we don't have what's called creative conflict because you can have creative conflict, but you may be the professional, right? You may be the person that really knows what you're doing, and the other person may not. So you have to have the permission and the grace to be able to offer your best advice, just like a lawyer would to a client or an engineer or an architect. And so same thing. So this is the banner on the page. I had to reposition it so that we captured all of it. And now it looks a little different on the cell phone, but for the most part, a lot of people are at their desk, and so you want to be able to show what's possible. Now to save time, there was pictures of her already on the web, so I didn't have to have a photo shoot done. And there's already some art and permission-based photography that we're able to use. And so we've been automating her campaign on her website and getting some really good metrics as we've been tagging different affinity groups. And now I have her doing some quotables that we're releasing on different plank issues that she's doing. And again, it would take a whole team to do a campaign like this. And thankfully, we're able to drive down the cost and then speed of implementation. And we really have only been working on this account for a couple of weeks now. But we're heading into the primary vote, which is going to be March 5th. So if you're in Harris County CD7, make sure you get out to vote Caroline Kane into office. And then we were able to um, get secure her endorsements. And let's see, we go back to projects here and see if you'll let me go to another. So let's go. Let's see if this will go. Yeah, so I've been doing these quotables and output these into videos where she talks about this one that we're going to promote today is about the bearing of arms, and so we're sharing that, and then that's it on Canva. So the beauty of Canva, if you want to check it out, and I've heard of it here and there, but really, I was hiring designers from Fiverr, and this is actually bringing down the cost and the delay because a lot of times, with Fiverr, you have to wait 2 or 3 days to get your product designed. And so the beauty of it now is that we don't have to wait to get this done. And I do have an assistant. So as I teach her how to do some of the stuff that I do, that's going to automate my time, right? So again, bringing value even to the stuff that I'm training, I can advance her to a new skill level. So at some point, if we part ways, she'll at least have had tutelage from someone that, is passing on the baton, so to speak. Oh, Caroline Kane's. So with Caroline Kane, we've been populating her YouTube channel, and she's gotten different messages. So let's do this quotable video that I designed in Canva. Then I went over to my editing software on Wondershare, which I talked about in previous episodes. Dropped it in with sound and music, and then we cranked out a quotable that's now shareable online on Instagram, YouTube.
I'm Caroline Kane. I'm asking for your support as an investment in America's future. www.carolinekaneforcongress.com, paid for by Caroline Kane for Congress.
All right, so this is what I call a mashup. Yeah, so what you saw there is, of course, a dynamic ad, which is shareable on social media.
District Attorney Kim.
And I wanted to go back to her channel, but we're for the sake of time, we won't watch any more of those videos. You just go to Caroline Kane on YouTube, and you can see some of the videos we've outputted. So that was considered a mashup. So it's a dynamic ad. You saw the flag waving, and of course the creative message. So she gave me the quotable, and then I found a humorous quip to put in there about voting, not voting being like being what's called half-cocked. In the military, being half-cocked means your weapon's not ready to fire, right? It needs to be cocked all the way back. So it was bringing in a brand relevant humorous statement about voting. And then we secured Stephen Williford. He's one of my clients. We secured his endorsement for Caroline. And then that ringtone you heard. So, and then of course, taking the radio message where she approved the ad and all that, putting that all together, again, it would take a whole team to do, and you're talking thousands of dollars, right? but strategically being able to be a master at marketing and a master at whatever your craft is, you drive down that cost of implementation, right? And then output a delivery chain that's, can be incredible. Now, all this takes training, it takes, reading, it takes learning. So all the things that you learn and you can apply, you can create, a niche, right? So as an agency for the campaign for Caroline Kane, there's many moving parts. So the thing is, we've got to get through the election, which once she gets to the election, then basically the PACs kick in, and now you're talking millions of dollars to work with. So it's going to take teams to do block walking, putting out signs, raising money, uh, doing social media, hosting events, phone banking, email broadcasts, and we've got databases of people to reach in the district, getting more endorsements, so there's going to be a lot to do, right? So for me as a marketing leader, director, if you will, the concert director for campaigns, this is stuff that I do, right? So managing people, influencing people, creating ideas, of course, getting feedback from folks. So we're been zeroing in on the quotables, these being the planks, the issues, the hot button issues like the border, the Second Amendment, taxation, the Patriot Act, all these things that are etching away our rights and freedoms. And we really need a strong voice. And there's a lot of market clutter. So within even the Republican Party, there's been some endorsements of people that aren't qualified to run, or they're very mum on what they're going to do. Like I think one of the candidates wants to bring in the UN to help fight crime, which is a no-no. It's like that you're losing sovereignty as a nation, but not too many people know about that. So the thing is, you don't want to sling dirt and mud, but people don't know what they don't know. And the candidates they're backing may have ulterior motives because they're mum. They're not telling you what they're thinking, and they're easily swayed because they don't know the Constitution, right? So these are mission critical things that you can be involved with to help magnify the voice, right? So zero dark network concept is, yeah, we want to be thinking about these things that are good and bad and how we can get ahead of the curve, right? So I wanted to share with you this client, an author client that we're going to be helping out. And the statistics are that 87% of the people out there have a book in them, right? But only 3% actually write their book. And so ultimately, this book is published. This lady has a mission, and it's really to reach, a million readers, a million copies, right? But not just to sell the book, but to have people inspired to implement what she writes about in the book in a fictional story based on the Bible, based on the rapture. So if you know anything about the rapture, you're either pre-trib, trib, or post-trib, right? So like my friend Wally says, whether you are pre-trib, mid-trib, or post-trib, till it happens, here you are. He happens to be post-trib. So this story takes in the backdrop of a rapture and the Christians that are concerned about their family that's left behind. And so what Stacey Bowles wants to do is have people read this story, but also build a community of not, people that are prepared. Now, in the business world, in the life world, you get your will done, you make contingency plans like, I've done and others have done, but this is more for the family that all of a sudden one day the Christians disappear. Like movies have been made about it. It's been prophesied. And again, until it happens, here we are. But when it happens, you want to be able to have a survival kit, at least a plan of action. Like here's resources for you, family member, cash. Here's the keys to the car. Here's the list of properties we own, so that you, in essence, don't get caught up in the malaise or even in a natural disaster. Let's say all of a sudden something bad happens. You still need to have these plans more thought out than just leaving the will behind. Like here's a set of instructions. So this book, I've read it and actually have it here on my desk for a second chance, turn the page. And so right now, the immediate need is to start promoting the book. So we're looking at doing a press release to get it known to the different editors, religious editors, sci-fi or adventure editors, people that are interested in books, and then start promoting it on social media to start generating sales. And then we're looking at doing a book launch, here I think April 20th in Katy. And so we'll be really focusing a lot of effort on bringing and building a team for the book launch. In fact, I did want to share with you a commercial that I did for her using my AI voice. Y'all heard me talk about my AI voice in the last episode. So the beauty of my AI voice is I can type up a message and then it'll save me time by reading the message without me having to record it. Now, when I record, and you've heard me live here, I do my ums and my mispronunciations, and it's kind of maybe it's just a quirk I have. Hopefully, Biden hasn't affected. I know a lot of people are being affected by Biden's slurs and his misspeaks and his confusion. And so ultimately, when you're doing something live, you're going to have mess ups, but that's the whole beauty of live. But what I wanted to do is to share with you this commercial. I'm going to stop my alarm clock because it's going to go off here in a second to disrupt, because I may go over just a little bit. I'm just going to go off. All right. So this is a commercial that I did for her. Now, this is for a team. If you're interested and this has your attention, because we're going to be building a team of volunteers primarily until we get revenue up to help promote the book. If you're an influencer or you've got a lot of contacts, first read the book, and so that's usually how I endear myself to authors, because a lot of times they've invested a lot of money to get their book published. And of course, few people are reading as much as although the trends are changing, they're not necessarily reading like they used to. But I think the next generation is starting to really value having the hard copy books, digital books and all that. So this commercial is not really for the masses, although I'll be sharing this with my network and recruiting a team of people to help me to do something with this book, and maybe I'll have some rewards and prizes and maybe some cash prizes for stellar work, right? So this is right now something that if you believe in the mission, you're like, yeah, I want to help champion this. Then we're going to have a way to navigate, especially as we move to the book launch. And we want the book launch to be a special, not just any boring book signing, but something that's going to be valuable to attend, right? So take a listen. Again, this is my AI voice narrating a commercial. Now I produced the commercial, meaning that I added the music and the pauses and the dynamics to it, but the voice was the key thing, and that was automated through my AI voice once I typed up the message. Hey team, it's Andy Valadez for author Stacy Bowles, and today I'm reaching out with an invitation to an event that's not just a milestone but a beacon of hope and connection in our community. We're gearing up for the book signing of For a Second Chance Turn the Page by Stacy Bowles, an author whose message of resilience and care resonates deeply in today's world. This isn't just any book signing, it's a gathering that symbolizes hope, a chance for renewal, and an opportunity to support one another in imagining the day after the unthinkable. Stacy's message, our event, is about preparing for a future where love and care for our loved ones reign supreme. We've got a unique plan that spans before, during, and after the event. From engaging with attendees through heartfelt discussions and photo memories to sending them home with something more than just a signed book, a piece of hope. And this is where we need you. We're calling on our team to bring their passion, creativity, and energy to this event. Whether it's helping set up the perfect ambiance, capturing the moments that matter through photo and video, or facilitating the connections that attendees will cherish long after the event, your role is crucial. But beyond the logistics, the decorations, and the planning, this is about being part of something bigger, a chance to touch lives, to spread a message of hope and togetherness in times of uncertainty. This event is a reflection of what we stand for as a team, and every hand, every idea, every moment of support counts. Let's come together and make this book signing not just successful, but unforgettable. For Stacy, for the attendees, and for ourselves. Let's turn the page to a new chapter of hope and connection. Are you with me? Thanks for listening, team. Let's make magic happen. Reach out if you're in, and let's discuss how we can all contribute. Together, we can create something truly special. So something like this can run into thousands of dollars, and you can price this stuff yourself. There's actually companies that specialize in doing audio commercials and stuff like that. And so, interestingly, as a marketing leader, crafting that type of message, is the secret sauce, right? It's stuff that, other people don't know, and you have to source these writers, or you can create the content yourself. Now with AI, of course, everybody's talking about AI, but really it's artificial intelligence. The real value is the original intelligence. So when I use a lot of these tools, it's my original thinking and knowing what I want to deliver the product I want, and directing like you would an employee. Like, hey, I need to write a commercial. I've written hundreds of commercials, 30 seconds, 60 seconds of produced radio and video commercials. And so having a dramatic message like what you just heard is part of the final product, right? So all these tools are saving time. That commercial would have taken, I don't know, 5, 10 hours to produce. And it probably took me less than 30 minutes to do. And the value, again, the value chain is probably worth, to hire market research, a writer, get a studio time, source the music, all that stuff now that you would have had to pay royalties for. And this is all copyrighted, royalty-free production that we can now run on social media. In fact, you're going to see me post this live once she approved it because we met yesterday for coffee. um, I'll put. All right, so you're seeing my post live, and so the little secret that my friends have told me is you take out the link once it's populated, it helps with your algorithms on Facebook, and then this is going to let me post to other groups that I'm a part of. So I'm going to post to right side. Oh, let me. This is going to be more for my immediate team. So I'm going to post to my pages that I sponsor, like my website. People that are following me, I can post to like the Doc Green show. He's got 25,000 followers, but this is more for people that I know that I trust, that want to be a part of my network. In fact, if you're watching this and you want to be a part of our team, then please by all means reach out. So where's my Zero Dart Network class? There it is right there. All right, so posting that now. Then the ad you saw on Canva, and I've got 5,000 followers on my, or close to 5,000, 4,000 something. So I'm gonna go ahead and post her ad, which she also approved to help generate sales. So I'll be posting this on social media. And again, I have a assistant that I'll be working with, so she'll be helping me to get this out. And so with this particular message, there's a sense of urgency to it. Before it's too late, your time is now. Let's tag it. Rapture ready. Rapture of the church. Rapture coming. So the thing is, by putting these tags in here, some of the stuff you're testing, but the thing is, you can collect these. If you know more about this than I do, please share. So I'm testing this and to see who else would you recommend? So the goal again is to sell 1 million copies, right? So speaking it into existence, and there's tools to be able to do that, and some of it is not costly to do, like the press release, that we're going to send once it's written professionally to get attention, right? So you see a lot of press releases. In fact, now I'm going to post this on right side of the mic. My friend Doc Green, shout out to Doc Green, an awesome person that I know, and then one other group that has maybe a big following. In fact, I need to add more groups. Let's see here. team marketing dynamics to kind of show. So I have my team marketing dynamics page linked to my homepage. And so anytime I post to Facebook, it pops up in my discussion stream. So we talked about Veterans Business Force. We talked about Caroline Kane. We talked about For a Second Chance. Now I wanted to talk about the Exodus wallet. So my friend Laurel Barrett, she's connected with the blockchain community, and that's kind of she likes to hang out with the leaders, right? Oh, I was going to tell you about Wally. So my friend Wally, the Revelation File. He's a sage. He's got the revelationfile.com. He's documented the one world government and the people that planned it, right? Some of them have died, but now they've got new people that are taking over. And so he's now in his 70s, and we met up for coffee yesterday, and we started a little podcast that I'm gonna try to see where it's at. It's easy to reference, but it's on my SoundCloud, soundcloud.com/EBC broadcast. I have an interview with Wally. You'll have to search for it on the Revelation File. But we did an hour, and it's called Conspiracy Fact, right? So we were making a joke of this because I'm having a coffee cup design with him, and it said that we were conspiring to talk about conspiracies, and yeah, so we were conspiring to address conspiracies. Tune in to our new podcast, Coffee with Wally. It's not AI, it's really us. So not everything is AI, right? And so interestingly, I am interesting him into having his voice cloned because it'll save time. He can write his reports because he does keep an eye on the news and the rise of the Antichrist, which is something, if you look at Revelation 13, it's going to happen, right? Nothing new under the sun since King Nebuchadnezzar, who ran the world. So there is a one world leader. We just don't know who he is yet. And that's going to be announced soon. It's not Donald Trump, by the way. But take a look into it. So we're going to talk about his research, but then my perspective in this era, looking at the technologies we're using and the things that were foretold that he's actually written about and talked about avatars, crypto, RFID, dust, and automations of life. So some of it's spooky, but also it's leading somewhere. So we're going to do this coffee talk with Wally, these little 15-minute podcasts that we're going to output. And so I'm going to have some logos created for it, merchandising for it, and a website for it. And then he really doesn't take himself seriously, even though he is a serious person, but he's also, amicable, fun, and he's seen media transform from the old days of tape to punch cards for computers to editing and how long it's taken. He's just blown away by how quickly shows can be produced, concepts can be produced with, it usually would take a whole team again. And that's the world we're headed. But cheese is being moved. Like, so why not be the cheese mover, right? And people will come to you for answers and solutions, right? And command your pricing, command your value, right? And so I think a friend of mine, Jeremy Funk is his name, Fink. I can't remember his last name. Forgive me, Jeremy, for if I don't get it right. But he says you can't place demands if you're not in demand. If you're in demand, you can set your pricing. Like if a tow truck, your car's broken down, whatever the tow truck guy is charging, if it's you can afford it to get you out of the jam, how much time to price shop is that going to be, right? Somebody says I'll do it for 250, and you said, well, I'll wait till somebody, you're going to wait there for somebody to come along at 150. Maybe it might happen, but you know what? Time value of money, time value of your life, right? So you may say, yeah, 250, and you just deal with it, and not to say that's what it costs, but and you're not trying to rip people off, but you're one person, and so as you build a business, busyness, it's all about structure. That's again taking back the training with Howard Partridge, building your systems in sales, marketing, admin, operations, and leadership. So as a leader myself, I'm going to focus on me first because I can't attract the people I want to attract unless I become the person that people want to be around. Right. It's like, man, I've got to be around Andy. So that's what I like about Wally for the last 15 years, 20 years. I mean, he back in the 70s and 80s and 90s, I mean, he was very, very known in influential circles and open doors. And he's got an awesome message. And so that's the reason why we want to spend time together and we want to invest time to create these platforms because he is a ministry, right? So it's part of my ministry to help in marketing because it's also part of marketing to get out. So anyway, Wally and I had fun at this coffee shop. We went to lunch at a barbecue place. So having those memorable moments, because remember, it's health, wealth, love, and happiness. So this is part of the love and happiness part of my life. where I'm able to spend time with legends. I tell people we've worked with legends and those that want to become legendary. And so that's part of the excitement of the work that I do. And then people share stuff on my site. So if you want to watch a really cool video, go to my Facebook page, Andy Valadez, and this is a great explanation of crypto and AI and where we're at. All right, so I'm going to close this screen. Then we get to the Exodus wallet, and then oh, so we are planning. My wife and I are planning a trip in May, a family trip to Davenport, Florida, and I've never been there before, and so we're in the process of doing our research of things to do, and plant memories. I think I got my sister coming, her sons are coming, our extended family, my mother's coming, and I thought my nephews, my sister-in-law, and we're going to have a nice vacation rental place to be home base for 10 days and have an opportunity just to unwind. And I'll probably finish up another book that I'll be writing while I'm there and hanging out, going to movies and having seafood or whatever. So we're in the process and this is all on the vision board. And my wife and I are also talking about going to Washington, D.C. here in March or April for the cherry blossoms. I want her to see those. She's never seen the monuments, and time is precious. We're in our 50s now. And so, I said, look, we don't have kids at home. Let's jump on a plane, stay at a hotel overnight and then spend the day in DC and see the monuments. So I'd love to have you, take the elevator. I don't think she wants to walk the steps of the Abraham Lincoln Memorial. So there's where Martin Luther King had his speech. You've got the Washington Memorial. You got all these beautiful sites there in DC. Although I've heard that, it's getting kind of trashy, but I think it's going to change. The crime is up and all. But anyway, we'll see if she's open to doing that. Maybe she'll price a ticket and get us a hotel and we'll make an adventure of it. Now, the key is timing. If you're going to see the cherry blossoms, you got to go during a certain time period. So I'll be doing some research on when they're expecting that to happen. But again, that's part of the vision board. And what I'm seeing now is the possibility of everything on my vision board being produced. It could happen. So with Exodus Wallet, this is something I'm recommending to my friends. I'm not giving investing advice. I'm just going on what I'm setting up to do. So even as a marketing person, I'm now setting up as I do my research to take crypto, right? So I have a client that has coins, Bitcoin, or they have, XRP, or they have whatever. I can now communicate, what, I've got a wallet. If you're interested in paying me with Bitcoin, let's do a transaction. Now it's a little bit more risky, maybe, but I also adjust the pricing for that risk, right? If they have more coin than they have cash, well, you know what? I'll take the coin. Yeah, maybe I'll double the rate, you know. And if it goes up, I'll do my research before I take it, let's say. But why not take it? So with XRP, I'm watching it. But the first step is I had to get Exodus Bitcoin wallet. This was recommended to me by my friend. There's all kinds of wallets out there. So do your own research as to which one you want to use. But I took her advice on it because, I trust her, I know her. And again, the people that you hold in value and esteem, that's the whole purpose of having your business community, people that you know, love, and trust, right? And that trust you. And so if you have a good name, Proverbs 22:1, good name is worth more than silver silver or gold. So anyway, that's Exodus Wallet. So there's a process to do this. You've got to confirm it's you. And then once that's done, then they've got an exchange that they use to buy your crypto with MoonPay, kind of like PayPal, I guess. So you set up an account there. And then once you're set up, you're able to do your exchanges with your crypto. So I bought some XRP to get the ball rolling. And then this channel that I'm following is Common Sense Crypto. So ultimately, this guy's producing, daily reviews of what's going on in the XRP world. And so there's a lot of awesome, incredible predictions on XRP. But, again, I talked to a guy that has thousands of XRP. He said, well, they've been saying that for years. I said, well, there has to come a point where it definitely, takes a ride, right? Just like Bitcoin did. When I guess the people that knew about Bitcoin invested in it early. Some of them people sold it early, but others held on to it. Now it's worth like $62,000. I think it's been fluctuating here, 57,000 to 62,000 each. And you can buy a piece of a Bitcoin, right? Even I was talking to my wife, I said Landry's has Bitcoin exchange for rewards. So when you go to a restaurant, you can convert your cash into Bitcoin. I said, well, that's kind of smart. It either goes up or down. Hopefully it goes up. I'm going to check my rewards with Landry's. Maybe I got $1,000 worth of rewards that ordinarily I would have only gotten $25 for, right? So the interesting thing is because of the projections they're talking about with XRP, and the amount that we own, I mean that can actually pay off our debts. I mean, and be millionaires at some point, right? So listen, watch the videos. This is not investment advice. But the challenge now is I got to figure out, okay, let's say I do get this windfall. And to me, I told my wife, I said, it's better than the lottery because you're 0% chance of getting anything from the lottery. And my watching yesterday, my initial value of what I invested, it went up like $5, so I made $5. I said, okay, my value went up, I'm not down because it did go down a little bit, but now it's projected to go up. So take a look at XRP. And I just like the name Exodus Wallet. I mean, for people that need to get out of debt or they're looking, to change their wealth status, Exodus sounds a good name to it. And then Bitcoin crypto, again, with Wally, we're going to talk about some of this stuff because he has actually documented, the crypto world, although he himself hasn't been involved in it. He coined the term diginomics. And I think I used that term back in 92 when I was at A&M. I talked about diginomics or a digital economy, and so he was the grandfather. He created that word. And of course, I just, would use that word not knowing that he had created or there was such a word, right? But I knew that at some point there was this digital economy. And some of the stuff I've shared with you, like the banners and the ads, those are all digital and they're all valuable, right? So that ad you would have had to have paid with a marketing company or agency, let's say $3,000 or $5,000, because it takes a whole team to put their mind on it, their talent behind it. And then once it's created, it's a value, right? So now marketing is like beauty in the eye of the beholder. You may create something truly spectacular and the client not see it that way. So that's the key is finding the people that find the value, right? Become the customer you want. I think that's what Wes Watson said in one of his training, right? So I love it now. And the reason I changed my pricing structure to 3 months at a time is I hate chasing money. I said, I want clients that understand the value of what I do and they're willing to pay me 3 months in advance, right? Doesn't that sound crazy? 3 months in advance? But I also put the guarantee now, the 30 days. Like, look, I'll do the work for 30 days, right? And if you don't like it, then we don't have to go forward. So I'm willing to take that calculated risk, not for everybody. I'm evaluating the person, right? So I want to get to know them, know, like, love, and trust, right? So the first meeting may not be the time, although I like people that make quick decisions. Hey, let's do this. Boom, let's write a check, right? I like that. But for some people, it's like you're the same way. You're not going to make a quick decision. You want to make a thoughtful decision that's going to add value to your life. So it's in the world of marketing and business development, it's like that. You want to hire the right CPA, you want to hire the right lawyer, right? So that takes diligence, and it should. Marketing should take due diligence. Take your time. The jingles, I'm going to do a tutorial on creating ringtones and jingles. And say, you know what? My jingles, the one I did for Stephen Williford, the one I've done for myself and other clients, I said, I can do those in my sleep, really. But do I want to build practice around that? So no, I'd rather have the client hire me as an agency and let's build out your brand. Let's think through all the things that you need, build up a team even because one person can't do everything, right? So again, you have the dream, but it takes a team to make the dream. It takes the dream to make the team work. So the dream sees tangible, viable, quality production, a good message, a good mission, then they're going to want to be a part of what you're doing, right? So that's why I'm building this Friday network. Right now it's an audience of one, but again, as I'm leaving these crumbs for people to follow, hopefully I grow my audience, and it's not the only thing I'm doing, right? So we've talked about XRP. We talked about the Exodus wallet. We talked about my trip to Florida. And then we got one more thing. So I'm involved in this thing called Chiari, and I'm texting my close group. But if you go to my affiliate that I shared with you earlier on a million, you can be a part of my group. It's free to join. Of course, health, wealth, love, and happiness. So in my health sector, this is part of my grocery budget. So I do a shake every morning, and they have a great protein shake that they offer, and some other vitamins and energy gels and stuff like that. So I haven't gotten to that stuff yet, and it's not cheap. I mean, it's kind of for a month's supply. I want to say it's like $80 plus you can get some of the other stuff. So my affiliate link, again, go to Million Better Millionaires under affiliate. My affiliate link is here, right? And then I'll post this on my Facebook. So interesting, this all dovetails, right? as you're building your platform. It doesn't happen overnight unless you're very good at this. So I'm starting to integrate dovetail. Oh, so I'm sharing it with my people. So as we're talking about it now, I'm magnifying it in this production so people know about it. And then I'm texting people that are in my circle as I'm going down my list of people I have a pre message. In fact, I may post that in the description as well, where it basically says I'm working with a group of entrepreneurs and they're ready to help. I mean, they're ready to tell you how to grow this thing. So I went through my cell phone. I said, who are the people that I really want to make a connection with and that I really want to work with? So again, a lot of this has to do with mindset. If you don't bring things of value to people because you're afraid to reach out to them, then that can inhibit your success, right? So I'm sharing what I'm doing, and it's just a piece of what I'm doing. And if someone decides, hey, I want to be a part of what you're doing, Andy, then they can dovetail. So they can get involved, and I can bring them into my network of people that were working together. I'm trying to find my other. So I got that. I'll just posted that. All right, so that's posted now. And so with Kiari, this is my affiliate page, right? So when you go to my affiliate page, you can sign up. This is for recruitment, right? So it has videos here, tells you about the superfruit, maki berry, the antioxidant benefits of it. So all this stuff is health under health, but it's also part of my grocery budget. And also at some point when enough people start to use the product, my product will be free, right? And it starts to generate revenue. So they're already building, it's a multi-level or network marketing. I know a lot of people get caught up on that thing, but the thing is that you can participate. All this stuff now has affiliates. Even Go Level, Go High Level has an affiliate link, which is also on there my page. But I can get paid 40% if you use High Level, right? So there's different streams of income. So I got some of this vanilla shake, and this comes in a month's supply. So I'll have a shake this morning, and then when I go to the gym, I may get some. I'm going to get some of these gels next, and then some. I've already taken some vitamins. So I'm not sure if I'll take the product on this, but again, replication. If you're not taking it, your people are not taking it. So I have to see what. Well, actually, I will be taking it because I was using Juice Plus. Now I'm going to use this product. So that's Kiari. If you're interested in talking about it, my website address is up there, but I'll post it in the description as well. Then we can collaborate. So that brings us in proximity. And so the thing is, I always tell people, I said, you know what, you need to have friends that are marketers. And so the thing is, as you're collaborating with you, and then you're not necessarily worried about, paying the marketer, right? You're now friends, right? You can talk about stuff. So I have very few people that are in my inner circle, but if we're connected in a business, why wouldn't I want to help you, right? Dump value in your interest. So for free, you can sign up, be a member, and get your place. And then when you decide to start using the product, well, then you just include it in your grocery budget. And of course, I made mention that I weighed in today, down 13 pounds, not necessarily because of this product, but because my wife and I are dieting. We're not eating 2,000, 3,000 calories, at a time, which we're saving on our groceries, because we're staying within a certain amount of calories. I think I'm at 1,500. My wife's at 12 or 1,300. But our goal is to get to a certain ideal weight by November 1st for her, September 1st for me. And so inch by inch, it's a cinch. And so we're going to close with that. Again, subscribe to this channel. Thank you for watching. I'm going to go ahead and stop my share screen. I'm in my office here in Houston, Texas. Marketing Dynamics is my company, and I hope you find value in this hour and a half of production. And hopefully, again, when I slice it and dice it using um, Munch, or I think another one was called Clap, or somebody was telling me Zap or something like that. I forget the name, but I'm exploring how I can take all this to make it digestible in bite-sized chunks with things that are trending, right? And so on trending, we talked about answerthepublic.com. You can actually go and find what people are searching. So you can type in XRP for what people are asking about. XRP as an example, or others. I looked up congressional candidates to see what people were looking for. Those are good keywords if you're going to do an ad or whatever. But I'll go ahead and close. Thank you for watching. We're up before the devil. It's not for everyone, but it may be for you. Go to zerodarknetwork.com to stay in tune with what we're doing. And then we're looking at partnering with other podcasters, influencers. If you'd like to have me as a guest on your show, please give me a call, or you want to be a guest on mine. A Million Better Millionaires is one. We're going to be doing the Coffee with Wally. We've got the Saturday Menudo Club down here in Houston. We meet up in person every first or second Saturday of the month. And of course, Zero Dark Network, we do meet in person in Sci-Fair, and we're looking to scale this to bring it to other cities. And again, you can visit my website, teammarketingdynamics.com, to learn more about my company. And we are frontline marketers. I go by the Marine Marketer, and classically trained in marketing. Got my degrees here on one of the corners. I always get confused. Yeah. From A&M and Tulane University, and always investing in my training and my learning. Tell people I forgot more marketing most people know today. And there's literally thousands of things you can do in marketing, nothing new under the sun. And from logo creation to merchandising to jingles to billboard design, websites. Although I don't necessarily do all the websites, I have a network of designers, print companies, merchandising companies, distribution technology companies, but they're good at what they do, right? And they're not necessarily like a generalist, right? I'm not everything to everybody. It's all about strategy first, tactics, and then for the client, finding out what are the needs. So let's explore that together. Let's make a plan, because most people don't have a business plan and they don't have a marketing plan, right? And because of how you're going to wind up wherever you're going without the plan, it may not be where you wanted to go, right? So by having a business plan and having a marketing plan, which is probably the first thing I'm going to recommend, even before that, is like, what kind of person are you? Are you diligent? Are you going to do what you say? If you're busy, great. I can work with busy people. You don't have to do the details of the marketing, but before I output something, I want you to review it until we have a good working relationship and I have a great understanding of the brand. Because then a lot of times I can just get it out there for you, and you pretty much would have approved it because I already kind of know how you think, right? And so there's a time saving there, and then communicating that to the team, right? Because they may not know you as well. They don't know marketing as well. And so even with my team members, I have to guide them and show them and then demonstrate to them and then make their job easy, right? So it doesn't get messed up or it doesn't get confused or delayed or stopped or missed. So anyway, have a great weekend, and tune in next Friday at 3 a.m. Zero Dark Network Central Time. And we'll talk to you later. My name is Andy Valdez, founder of Marketing Dynamics. The late Peter Drucker, the father of management theory, believed marketing was critical to your business. He said the purpose of a business is to create a customer through marketing and innovation. Strategic marketing equals immediate success. We offer you speed to market without the speeding tickets. Work smarter, harder, faster. Marketing Dynamics, because the market never stays the same. Please visit teammarketingdynamics.com.